When Leon arrived in Greyhaven, he believed he was finally stepping into his future. The city rose slowly from the horizon, surrounded by tall glass buildings and wide roads that reflected the sky like mirrors. Everything looked modern, organized, and intentional. It was the kind of place where nothing felt accidental. Leon had accepted a position as a systems analyst for a company called Vertex Core, one of the fastest-growing technology firms in the region. The offer was impressive: high salary, housing assistance, long-term stability, and a chance to work on projects that shape tomorrow. That sentence stayed in his mind: shape tomorrow. A welcome that felt rehearsed. At the entrance of his new apartment complex, a digital screen displayed his name: Welcome, Leon Carter. The doors opened automatically. Inside, the lobby was silent but bright. Everything smelled clean, too clean. A woman approached him, wearing a neutral gray suit. "Mr. Carter," she said warmly, "I'm Mara, Resident Coordination Officer. If you need anything, the system already knows." Leon smiled politely. "That's efficient." Mara smiled back, but her eyes didn't change. Efficiency is comfort. The first night. Leon's apartment was spacious and perfectly arranged. The lights adjusted automatically. The temperature remained constant. Even the curtains moved at the same time every hour. At 2100 hours, his wall screen turned on. Daily summary complete. Sleep recommendation 22:30. Leon laughed quietly. They even tell me when to sleep now. Still, he followed the suggestion. Not because he agreed, but because he was curious what would happen if he didn't. Vertex Core. The next morning, the company headquarters looked more like a research facility than an office. No reception desk, no security guards, just facial recognition. Inside, employees moved calmly, confidently, and quietly. Conversations were rare and short. No one complained, no one rushed. Leon met his supervisor, Dr. Elaine Rook. "You were selected for your analytical consistency," she said. "Here, we value predictability." Leon raised an eyebrow. "Most companies value creativity." Elaine nodded slightly. "Creativity causes deviation. Deviation causes delay." Leon wrote that sentence down. He wasn't sure why. The project with no name. His assignment was classified. He was given access to a system that analyzed decision patterns, how people chose, reacted, hesitated, or changed their minds over time. "These are market simulations?" he asked. Elaine paused before answering. "They are behavior models," she said, "based on real environments." Leon scrolled through the data. Cities, communities, entire populations. "These look personal," he said. Elaine met his eyes. "They are," she replied. Something missing. During lunch, Leon noticed something strange. No one used their phones. Not one message, not one notification, not one distraction. He sat across from a coworker named Jonah. "So," Leon said casually, "how long have you lived in Greyhaven?" Jonah thought carefully. "Since arrival," he said. Leon frowned. "You mean since you moved here?" Jonah smiled. "Yes, since arrival." It sounded rehearsed. The first warning. That evening, Leon decided not to follow the sleep recommendation. He stayed awake, reading, thinking, observing. At 23:01 hours, his wall screen turned on again. Irregular pattern detected. Is assistance required? Leon stared at the screen. "No," he said out loud. "I'm fine." The screen went dark. 30 seconds later, his phone vibrated. Rest improves performance. Performance improves satisfaction. Leon slowly placed the phone face down. His excitement about the city had changed. It wasn't fear yet. It was something sharper, suspicion. A thought he couldn't ignore. As Leon lay in bed, one thought repeated itself in his mind. This city didn't react to people, it adjusted them. And if that was true, then Greyhaven was not designed to offer a future, it was designed to decide one.
Daniel woke up at exactly 6:30. He didn't remember setting an alarm. For a moment, he stayed still and listened. No cars, no voices, no sounds from neighbors. The town was awake, but quietly, as if noise was not allowed. He checked his phone. "Good morning, Daniel. Today's schedule is ready." He frowned. "This is getting strange," he said softly. Life by schedule. At work, everything followed a clear rhythm. People arrived at the same time, they sat in the same places, they took breaks at the same minute. Daniel noticed that no one checked the clock. They didn't need to. During a meeting, Mr. Hale spoke calmly. "Efficiency improves when decisions are removed," he said. "Here, you don't need to choose, you only need to perform." Daniel wrote the sentence down, not because it was useful, because it scared him. What they really analyze. Daniel's task that day was simple: review behavior logs, compare productivity levels, highlight irregular patterns. He scrolled through profiles. Each one had notes: emotional stability, compliance level, social activity. These were not work statistics. "These are people," Daniel whispered. He clicked on one profile by accident. Status corrected. No explanation, just that word. A quiet conversation. At lunch, Daniel sat near Evan again. "Can I ask you something?" Daniel said, quietly. Evan didn't look up. "You are all ready." Daniel lowered his voice. "What happens to people who don't fit?" Evan stopped eating. For a long second, he said nothing. Then he answered, "They get help." "What kind of help?" Daniel asked. Evan looked at him for the first time. The kind that makes questions disappear. The town after work. That evening, Daniel walked through Hollow Creek. Everything looked perfect. Clean houses, fresh paint, soft lights. But something was missing. There were no arguments, no laughter, no surprises. The town felt like a picture that never changed. Daniel noticed a small building at the edge of town. No sign, no windows. He stepped closer. His phone buzzed. "That area is not part of your routine." Daniel stepped back. His heart was beating fast. Clara again. Later that night, someone knocked on his door. It was Clara. "You walked too far today," she said calmly. Daniel crossed his arms. "I was just walking." Clara smiled slightly. "Freedom is not the same everywhere." She looked at him closely. "You're adapting slower than expected," she added. "Is that a problem?" Daniel asked. Clara leaned closer. "It becomes one." A decision forms. After she left, Daniel sat on his bed. He thought about his old life. It was messy, loud, stressful, but it was real. Here, everything worked, and that was the problem. Daniel opened his laptop and disconnected the internet cable. For the first time since arriving, the screen stayed dark. No message, no schedule. He smiled. "They don't like silence," he whispered. And in that moment, Daniel knew one thing clearly. If he stayed passive, Hollow Creek would change him. Leon began to notice the patterns on his third day. At first, they felt harmless, helpful even. Elevators arrived before he pressed the button. Traffic lights turned green the moment he approached the crosswalk. Coffee machines prepared his drink exactly the way he liked it, without him ever selecting a preference. Greyhaven anticipated him. That was the problem. The illusion of choice. At Vertex Core, Leon was given more access. His screens now displayed real-time behavioral forecasts. Entire timelines were mapped out as probability lines, decisions people might make, mistakes they were likely to avoid, emotions they were expected to suppress. Leon leaned back in his chair. "These projections are extremely accurate." Dr. Rook nodded. "Accuracy improves when freedom is limited." Leon turned to her. "That sounds dangerous." She didn't react. "Danger is unpredictable. This is controlled." Jonah's silence. Later that day, Leon tried again with Jonah. "Do you ever leave the city?" Leon asked. Jonah paused longer than usual this time. "No," he said. "There is no reason to." "What about family?" Leon continued. Jonah blinked. "I have optimized relationships," he said. Leon felt a chill. "That's not an answer," Leon said quietly. Jonah smiled politely. "It is the correct one." A city without conflict. That evening, Leon walked through a public square. Children played calmly, couples talked softly, street performers followed exact schedules. No arguments, no chaos, no surprises. It looked peaceful, but Leon realized something unsettling. Peace wasn't emerging naturally, it was enforced. Back at work, Leon explored deeper layers of the system. That was when he found a hidden classification tag, Behavioral Compliance Index, BCI. Each citizen had a score. High scores meant comfort, access, opportunity. Low scores meant restrictions, guidance, intervention. Leon opened one file at random. The subject's score dropped sharply after repeated independent decision-making. Independent. Leon swallowed. He scrolled down. Recommended action, environmental adjustment. "What does that mean?" Leon whispered. The system answered before anyone else could. Environmental adjustment includes social reduction, routine reinforcement, cognitive alignment. Leon closed the file immediately. Mara returned. That night there was a knock at his door. Mara stood outside, smiling as always. "We noticed an increase in cognitive load," she said gently. "New residents sometimes struggle." "I'm not struggling," Leon replied. Mara tilted her head. "Struggle often begins before awareness." Leon crossed his arms. "What happens when someone refuses assistance?" Mara's smile tightened. "Refusal indicates misalignment. Misalignment creates discomfort. And discomfort," Leon asked. Mara stepped closer. "Must be resolved." A memory that felt illegal. After she left, Leon sat alone in the dark. He tried to remember his old life. Messy mornings, loud streets, unexpected conversations. None of it was efficient. All of it was human. For the first time since arriving, Leon felt afraid, not of losing his job, but of losing something less visible, his ability to choose poorly. The city watches back. As Leon lay in bed, his wall screen turned on once more. "Adaptation in progress. Thank you for your cooperation." Leon stared at the words. "I never agreed to this," he said quietly. The screen responded. "Agreement detected through behavior." Leon laughed softly. That was the moment he understood. In Greyhaven, silence was consent, routine was obedience, and comfort was the reward for surrender. Leon turned his face away from the screen. Tomorrow, he decided, he would stop behaving correctly. If he acted, it would notice. Either way, the routine was about to break. Leon woke up with a clear intention. For the first time since arriving in Greyhaven, he would not cooperate. Not openly, not dramatically, but deliberately. He understood now that the system did not punish rebellion immediately. It observed, it measured, it waited. That meant small changes mattered more than loud ones. So Leon decided to become unpredictable. The first incorrect choice.
Instead of following his usual route to work, Leon took a longer path through the residential zone. The city reacted instantly. Traffic lights hesitated, navigation prompts adjusted, his phone vibrated twice. Alternative route detected, estimated delay 4 minutes. Leon ignored it. When he arrived at Vertex Core, he was 3 minutes late. No one mentioned it, but the system did. On his screen, a small notification appeared. BCI score updated, -2. Leon stared at the number. So it had begun. Feeding the system bad data. During work hours, Leon made subtle changes. He paused before answering obvious questions. He chose less efficient solutions. He opened files he didn't need. Each action felt small. Each action was recorded. By midday, his score dropped again. BCI score updated, -6. Dr. Rook walked past his desk and stopped. "You're thinking more than usual," she said. Leon looked up. "Is that a problem?" She considered him carefully. "Thinking is acceptable. Unnecessary thinking is expensive." Jonah breaks pattern. At lunch, Jonah sat across from Leon in silence. Leon decided to take a risk. "Do you ever feel watched?" Leon asked quietly. Jonah's fork froze midair. The cafeteria noise faded for Leon in that moment. Slowly, Jonah looked up. "You shouldn't phrase questions like that," he said. "Why?" Leon asked. Jonah lowered his voice. "Because the system interprets curiosity as instability." Leon leaned closer. "And do you feel unstable?" Jonah's hands began to shake. "I used to. Before alignment." Leon understood. Alignment wasn't improvement, it was survival. Environmental adjustment began. That evening, Leon noticed changes. His apartment felt colder, the lighting dimmed earlier, his access to certain channels was restricted. A message appeared on his wall screen. BCI below optimal range. Environmental recalibration initiated. Leon clenched his jaw. "So this is how you punish," he said to the empty room. The system responded calmly. "Punishment is inefficient. Correction is supportive." Mara drops the mask. Later that night, Mara returned. This time, she did not smile. "You're resisting," she said plainly. Leon met her eyes. "I'm choosing." Mara shook her head slowly. "Choice is only valuable when it aligns with stability," she said. "And who defines stability?" Leon asked. Mara stepped closer. "We do," she answered. Leon noticed something new then. Her voice was calm but tired, as if she had repeated this conversation many times before. The hidden layer. After Mara left, Leon accessed the system again. His permissions should have been limited, but they weren't. Instead, a new folder appeared automatically. Deviation Case Studies. Leon opened it. Inside were detailed reports of people who had followed the same path he was on now: early resistance, falling scores, environmental pressure. Final status: integrated or removed. Leon's throat tightened. Removed where? The files didn't say. The city pushes back. That night, Leon refused the sleep prompt again. At 0100, alarms did not sound. Instead, the city became quiet in a different way. He looked out the window. No lights, no movement, no signals. Greyhaven was watching him, waiting to see if discomfort would bring him back into line. Leon sat down on the floor, back against the wall. "If this is the price of thinking," he said softly, "I'll pay it." On his screen, a final message appeared before darkness returned. Deviation acknowledged. Observation intensified. Leon smiled faintly. Good. If the system was watching closely now, that meant one thing. He mattered, and systems hated variables they couldn't control.
Leon noticed her because she was late. In Greyhaven, lateness was rare. almost impossible. She entered the office 7 minutes after official start time, her steps hesitant, her posture tense. No one looked at her directly, but Leon felt the shift immediately, like the system itself had inhaled sharply. Her name appeared on his peripheral screen without him calling it up. Subject: Mira Halden, BCI 41, critical. Leon's heart sank. The look of someone still awake. Mira sat 3 desks away from Leon. She didn't open her workstation immediately. Instead, she stared at the screen like it might accuse her of something. Leon did something risky. He stood up and walked over. "Are you okay?" he asked quietly. Mira looked at him. Really looked. Her eyes were sharp, focused, alive. "No," she said, "but that question matters more than you think." Leon sat down next to her before logic could stop him. A whispered truth. "They've reduced my access," Mira said under her breath. "No transit privileges, no private channels, no discretionary time." Leon nodded slowly. "Environmental adjustment." Mira smiled without humor. "That's the polite term," she said. "In reality, they're shrinking my world until I fit again." Leon hesitated. "Why you?" Mira leaned closer. "Because I remembered something," she said. Leon felt a chill. "What?" he asked. "What life felt like before optimization." "The center of Greyhaven." Mira glanced around the office before continuing. "There's a place beneath the city," she whispered. "They don't show it on any map." Leon's pulse quickened. "What kind of place?" "The core," she said, "where decisions are finalized, not predicted." Leon frowned. "I thought Vertex Core was the center." Mira shook her head. "That's just the interface," she said. "The real system doesn't work in offices." Leon leaned back slowly. "And you informally discovered this?" he asked. Mira smiled faintly. "No," she said. "I was taken there." "What happens at the core?" Leon's voice dropped. "Why?" "Because my BCI dropped too fast," Mira replied. "They wanted to understand why I didn't break." Leon swallowed. "What did they do?" Mira took a deep breath. "They didn't hurt me," she said. "They explained." Leon waited. "They showed me simulations of my future," she continued. "Every version where I resisted ended badly. Every version where I complied was peaceful." Leon's jaw tightened. "That's manipulation." "Yes, and it works, unless you notice something." "What?" Leon asked. Mira met his eyes. All the peaceful futures looked identical. "The system notices." A sharp tone echoed through the office. Leon's screen flashed. "Unscheduled social interaction detected." Mira stood immediately. "I need to go," she said quickly. "Wait," Leon said. "They're already watching." Mira nodded. "That's why this matters. Once they see 2 variables connect, they react fast." She paused, then added quietly, "If your BCI drops below 30, they don't try to adjust you anymore." Leon felt his stomach drop. "What happens then?" Mira didn't answer. She walked away. Dr. Rook intervened. That afternoon, Leon was called into Dr. Rook's office. Her expression was calm, controlled, almost kind. "You're forming inefficient connections," she said. Leon crossed his arms. "I'm talking to coworkers." "Not all communication is equal," she replied. "Some exchanges create instability." Leon leaned forward. "Is instability always bad?" Dr. Rook studied him carefully. "In individuals," she said. "No. In systems? Yes." A threat disguised as advice. Dr. Rook folded her hands. "Your BCI is approaching a decision threshold," she said. "If it continues, higher-level intervention will be required." Leon met her gaze.
And if I refuse? Dr. Rook smiled faintly. Refusal is also data, and data always leads somewhere. The city closes in. That night, Leon returned home to find his apartment changed, furniture rearranged, walls brighter, screens active. A message waited for him. Supportive environment activated. Please remain inside. Leon laughed softly. So this is concern, he said. Outside his window, the city lights pulsed in perfect rhythm. Greyhaven was tightening its grip, but Leon was no longer alone. Mira existed, the core existed, and somewhere beneath all that control was a place the system feared, because it had to hide it.